All right, so we have reached in the book of marriage, Fasl section about the number of divorces. So the author says, وَيَمْلِكُ الْحُرُّ ثَلَاثَ تَطْلِيقَاتٍ. Freeman possesses 3 divorces. وَالْعَبْدُ تَطْلِيقَتَيْن. وَالْعَبْدُ تَطْلِيقَتَيْن. The freeman possesses 3 divorces and the slave 2. And he possesses 2. Okay, that's clear. 3 divorces means 2 returns. So if you divorced her once, you can bring her back as long as she's still in her iddah, as long as her countdown has not expired. Then, if you divorced her a second time, you can bring her back as long as her countdown has not expired. And if you did let her countdown expire without bringing her back after you divorced her once or twice, you can still just remarry her. So returning the wife or reinstating the wife is not remarrying her, it's returning her. That's something in our religion, because we have such a nice religion. That makes a lot of sense, and it's good, and it's easy. The non-Muslims, anyway, they make everything hard. Everything is hard. So it's not easy for them to get divorced. They have to go through a lot of trouble for that. For us, it's easy like other things are easy, which is, for the man to pronounce the divorce, and that's it. So if you divorced her once, you can bring her back with a statement such as, I return my wife, I reinstate my wife, I bring back Fulana as my wife, or something like that. If you divorced her twice, you can reinstate her as long as her countdown is not over. If you divorced her 3 times, then you cannot reinstate her. So we'll see, what does the author have for us. So he said, وَيَمْلِكُ الْحُرُّ ثَلَاثَ تَطْلِيقَاتٍ وَالْعَبْدُ تَطْلِيقَتَيْنِ. The freeman possesses 3 divorces, and the slave possesses 2. It's possible to use more than one divorce at a time. If a man said, I divorce you twice, then he used 2 of his divorces, and he's only going to have 1 return left. ويصح الاستثناء في الطلاق إذا وصله به. And it is valid to make an exception or an exclusion from the divorces if he connected it. Meaning, if he said, for example, my wife is divorced 3 times minus 2, or my wife is divorced 3 times except 2, that's valid. Does it mean she's divorced once? Oh, that's valid, because that's what the words mean. So that's valid. But if the exclusion or the exception is separated from the statement, then it's not valid. Like if he said, my wife is divorced 3 times, and then the next day he said, except 2 times, then it's not valid. And also, in such a case of an exclusion, it's not valid for the exclusion to engulf the original number. Like, you can't say, my wife is divorced 3 times except 3. Or my wife is divorced 3 times minus 3. That's the exception is not valid. The divorce is valid. The exclusion is not valid. She's going to be divorced 3 times. When Sheikh Samir taught us this the first time, he said, if you were to say, I'm paraphrasing here, he said, if you were to say, I divorced my wife 3 times except 3, how many divorces is that? So everybody said 0. There's no divorces. He said, ala zamikum. So you claim. But he did say at the time, I don't know if it's same in English language, but in Arabic, it will not be valid to say my wife is divorced 3 times except 3. Then it's going to be 3 divorces. The exclusion is invalid. So if it's the same in English, then it's going to be three divorces. ويصح تعليقه بالصفة والشرط. It is valid to make the divorce dependent upon a description or a condition. Yeah. Yani, conditional divorce is valid. This means you made the divorce contingent upon something. Like you said, when your period goes off, you are divorced. Or if you said, if you leave the house, you are divorced. Or if you said, if you talk to Fulan, you are divorced. Or like that. Then, if the condition happens, the divorce will happen. And there is no way to retract the conditional divorce. There is no way to retract the conditional divorce. ولا يقع الطلاق قبل النكاح. Divorce does not occur before marriage. Yeah, because that's like selling something you don't own. How could you sell something that you don't own? Not only you don't own it, and you have no authorization. You have no authority, no authorization, no ownership. How can you sell it? You cannot. It's not going to be valid. That's like that here. You didn't even marry her yet. How are you going to divorce her? So, وَأَرْبَعٌ لَا يَقَعُ طَلَاقُهُمْ. The divorce of four types of males does not take place, does not fall. And there are four husbands, four types of husbands. Their divorce is invalid. الصبي والمجنون والنائم والمكره. The child. So it means a man got his son married, prepubescent son. Then his son said to his wife, "You're divorced." So she's not divorced because he's below puberty. The insane. So a crazy man, he said to his wife, "You are divorced." She's not divorced because he's crazy. Unless the reason he's crazy is because he deliberately consumed what makes him crazy, then if he divorced his wife like that, she will be divorced. To be strict on him. One na'im, and the sleeping person. So if he divorced his wife, means he's just talking in sleep only. So it's not valid. Wal mukrah, and the compelled one, the one who was forced to divorce his wife. Yani, he was threatened to be beaten, to have his money confiscated, to be in prison for a long time. Then he can pronounce the divorce that he was forced to pronounce, and it won't be valid. She'll still be his wife. Fasul, section. وإذا طلق امرأته واحدة أو اثنتين. If one divorced his wife once or twice, فله مراجعتها ما لم تنقض عدتها. He can, yani he has the right to return her as long as her countdown has not expired. Okay, that's clear, I think. فإن انقضت عدتها حل له نكاحها بعقد جديد. If her countdown expired, marrying her is lawful for him with a new contract. So, and nobody can force her. So she doesn't want to, then right there, that's her opportunity to turn him down. Because next time Qad call, he's not going to let her go. وتكون معه على ما بقي من الطلاق. And she would be with him according to the remaining number of divorces. Yani, if he divorced her once, her countdown expired, and then he remarried her, he still has two divorces left. If he divorced her twice and her countdown expired without him returning her, then he remarried her, he would remarry her with only one divorce left. That's all very easy. Alhamdulillah. فإن طلقها ثلاثا لم تحل لم تحل إلا بعد وجود 5 شرائط. And if he divorced her thrice, she can only be lawful for him after 5. She is not lawful for him except after the existence or the presence of 5 conditions. If he divorced her thrice, she is not lawful for him except after 5 conditions. انقضاء عدتها منه, for her to finish the expiration of her countdown from him, her countdown from him. That's one. Her idda ends. That's one condition. وتزويجها بغيره, for her to be married to be given in marriage to. تزويجها, تزويجها, for her to be given in marriage to بغيره, to someone else, says to another man, to someone else. For her to be given in marriage to someone else, that's number 2. So I can number these. The expiration of her countdown from him, that's 1. 2, for her to be given in marriage to someone else. وَدُخُولُهُ بِهَا. 3, yani his consummating with her. His consummating with her. وَدُخُولُهُ بِهَا. His consummating with her. That's simple. وَإِصَابَتُهَا. يعني okay. وَدُخُولُهُ بِهَا وَإِصَابَتُهَا. His consummating with her with an erection. That's the meaning of the statement. So if he didn't have an erection, it's not valid. The condition is not fulfilled. And needs to be also in the front private. If it were from the back, and if it were anal, the condition is not fulfilled. For him to divorce her, وَبَيْنُونَتُهَا مِنْهُ, yani, no. Her being separated from him. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, that's a broader statement. Her being separated from him. Like by a divorce. There's more than one way to breach a marriage contract. And وَانْقِضَاءُ عِدَّتِهَا مِنْهُ, and the expiration of her countdown from him. The new one, the second husband. Then, so now her idda is expired from the second man. Now she can get back to the first man who divorced her 3 times. And they will start over with 3 divorces. No, same thing. Yani, I said, it has to be vaginal. It has to be in the front. That means in the vagina. So if it's from the back, yeah. And then I said, meaning if it's anal, then it's not valid. The condition is not fulfilled. So what is this here? This is that he divorced his wife 3 times. And now he wants her back. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Now what's he gonna do? This, what we are talking about here, is put in place exactly to discourage him from getting into this position in the first place. What position is this? This is now, he has to accept the fact that in order for them to get back together, she must marry another man and consummate the marriage with him. What's he gonna do? Well, the conditions are there, so fulfill the conditions so that you can marry her again, if that's what you're going to do. Any questions so far? Also, let me mention for you, what is the benefit of a conditional divorce? The benefit of a conditional divorce is that there are things that a man would not want his wife to do. However, just because he doesn't want her to do it does not mean that's binding on her. This needs to be understood, brothers and sisters. She don't have to do everything her husband tell her to do. She's not a slave. Someone asked me yesterday, what if a husband said to his wife, if you don't do such and such for me, it's going to break my heart. So you should do it. What is this emotional manipulation here? She's not obligated to do it. She's not obligated to do it. Okay. So there's things that she don't have to listen to him about. It's not necessarily obligatory on her. It's not obligatory on her. But he doesn't want her to. So then what does he do to Yanni? What leverage does he have? Does he have any leverage, or is she just gonna do whatever she wanna do that he doesn't like? He has some leverage here, which is to put the divorce into her hand by making it conditional. It's not a condition that she knows that the condition is there, though. When I say putting it in her hand, and I'm mentioning what I learned, this would mean that she knows the condition. He told it to her. Like he said to her, if you do such and such, you are divorced. But it's not a condition that he tells her. If he said in his own privacy, if my wife does such and such, then she's divorced. Then if the condition happens, she will be divorced. But the functionality of this conditional divorce, like how could you use it? Like what I'm telling you. Your wife, for example, she has a friend you don't want her to talk to. Who's that? Male, female? Doesn't matter. She has a friend you don't want her to talk to. Sounds like it's male. So then you told her, don't talk to that one. And she said to you, what? I am not doing anything haram. And I am not violating any of your rights. And I am not being unfaithful to you. And you are just jealous. And he said to her, whatever, don't talk to that one, or else you're divorced. So now he made her divorce contingent upon something. This is the way, this is his attempt to get control of the situation here. That is in his own mind out of control. So then now she knows. If she wants to preserve that marriage with him, then she will refrain so that her marriage will not be broken. But on the other hand, be careful before you test someone, might backfire on you. And you make your wife's divorce contingent upon something, and you think she won't go there, and then she turns around and go there. Now she's out of the marriage. Okay, so now we're getting into some more deeper chapters in the book of marriage. Before we get to some more familiar chapters that you know, like what are some of the familiar chapters you know? You are familiar with Edda. There's a chapter on Edda. You are familiar with what else? You might be familiar with nursing. Support, spousal support, child support. You're familiar with that. Custody, important chapter if you're not familiar with it. But the idea of custody is familiar to you. Even if the rules of the religion concerning custody you don't know. You know what custody means, so there's religious rules about that. Nursing, when another woman nurses, some woman nurses a baby, it's not her own baby, then, you know about that, even if you don't know the detailed rules. We still, though, have to cover when a man gets a new slave woman. That's in the book of marriage, when he gets a new slave woman. It's in the book of Abu Shuja, it's in the chapter of marriage, in the book of marriage. Idda chapter is known. So what else is here that's maybe not so familiar to you? There's 3 chapters right here. One is the chapter concerning the one, or the section concerning the one who swears to not be intimate with his wife. He says, Wallahi. So he swears. So there's rules here. And there's the chapter of the one who likens his his wife to his mother. You actually know about this because this is in the book of obligatory knowledge. In the sins, amongst the sins of the tongue. Yeah. And then there's the section on what's called li'an, which is what the man can do when he wants to disown the child and not be regarded as the father of the child, and he wants to accuse his wife of adultery. What does he do? And then, how does she respond to that? That's another chapter here. MashaAllah. So how about then let's do at least one more section. So the author says, Rahimahullah, Fasl section. وإذا حلف ألا يطأ زوجته مطلقا. If one or when, either when one swore or swears to absolutely abstain from intercourse with his wife, meaning he just says, I swear by Allah, I will never have intercourse with you, or I won't have intercourse with you. Let me remove the word never. He just says, I swear by Allah, I won't have intercourse with you. So it's just open, it's not restricted, so it was absolute. So he swore to abstain, absolutely, yani without restriction. أو مدة تزيد على 4 أشهر. Or he swore to abstain for a period exceeding 4 months. A period exceeding 4 months, for that is the time in which it is expected that the woman could lose her patience. Yes. Yani lose her patience with the lack of intimacy. فهو مول. Then he is called mul. That means someone who swore. He's a swearer. A swearer. ويؤجل له إن سألت ذلك 4 أشهر. So, he swore. Now, when we say he swore, this means either, originally, according to original rules of swearing, either you do what you swear to do or not do. Either you adhere to your swear. You do or not do whatever you swore to do or not do, or else you break your swear, which is permissible. It is permissible to break your swear, but then it will be obligatory on you to fulfill an expiation, a kafara, for breaking the swear. Now, in this case, he swore to not be intimate with his wife. This, though, is harmful. So, what's he going to do? So, here, she can take him to the judge. Yani, assuming that he does not break his swear on his own accord. Like, if he doubles down and says, no, didn't I swear? Get out of my face. So then, she could take him to the judge. So, if she requests it, he will be deferred for 4 months, meaning the judge will defer him. Give him 4 months to break his swear or to divorce his wife. Divorce her or break your swear. That's the ultimatum. He's given an ultimatum. Divorce her or break your swear. So he would then be given the choice between breaking his swear and fulfilling an expiation or divorce. If he refuses to do either one, so he neither divorces her nor breaks his swear. Sorry. ثم يخير بين الفيئة والتكفير. So then he will be given the choice. So let me back up. ويؤجل له إن سألت ذلك 4 أشهر. He will be delayed. And the judge will delay him by her request if she requests that for 4 months. Meaning, she says, give him 4 months. So the judge gives him 4 months. ثم يخير بين الفيئة والتكفير. Then he will be given the choice between breaking his swear and then fulfilling the expiation, وَالطَّلَاقِ, or divorce. فَإِنِ امْتَنَعَ طَلَّقَ عَلَيْهِ الْحَاكِمُ, and if he refuses to do either, then the judge will pronounce a divorce on him. The judge will use one of his divorces. One of his divorces gets used by the judge. Okay, let's go a little bit more. Fasl, section. وَالظِّهَارُ أَنْ يَقُولَ الرَّجُلُ لِزَوْجَتِهِ. Zihar is for the man to say to his wife, Anti alayya ka dhahri ummi, you are to me as the back of my mother. Or similar statements. Not only that, it's not restricted to that. The meaning here is that he is likening his wife to his mahram, his non-marriageable relative. That's a major sin. And Allah calls him in the Quran a liar for this comparison. This comparison makes him a liar. Anti alayya ka dhahri ummi, you are to me like the back of my mother. Because why is a liar? Because she is not like the back of his mother. She's his wife. Why would somebody say something like that? That was a divorce statement in the time of ignorance before the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he clarified that this is invalid, not a valid divorce. Such a statement is not a valid divorce. And in that, when we say that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam clarified that this is not a valid divorce, then this is just one instance in which the Prophet nullified Arab culture. So it's not true to say Islam is Arab culture. Islam is not Arab culture. Islam is the religion revealed by Allah to the Prophet, to the Arabian Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it's not a condition for the non-Arab to take on Arab culture as a Muslim. But Arab culture is not valid because it's Arabian. There are many things that the Prophet ﷺ nullified for the Arabs, invalidated for the Arabs. It's not Arab culture. This is one of them. فَإِذَا قَالَ لَهَا ذَلِكَ, and so, when he said that to her or says that to her, وَلَمْ يُتْبِعْهُ بِالطَّلَاقِ, and did not follow it up with a divorce. So he said that hurtful word to his wife and did not divorce her. صَارَ عَائِدًا, then he became someone who goes back on his word. Then he became someone who goes back on his word. What does that mean, someone who goes back on his word? Well, didn't he just say to her, you are to me like the back of my mother? So how he stayed married to her then? He said that to her, and then he did not divorce her immediately? Then he went back on his word. SubhanAllah. And the Muslim wants his word to be gold. You want your word to be like gold, right? Yeah, if you say something, then you're gonna, yeah, you didn't say it frivolously, right? Okay, so don't say it if you don't mean it. So you said she's like your mother? Divorce her then. So if he said that, if he told that lie, and then he did not immediately divorce her, Sara Aida, he became someone who goes back on his word. وَلَزِمَتْهُ الْكَفَّارَةِ, and then he must fulfill the expiation. The expiation of zihar. What is that? وَالْكَفَّارَةُ عِتْقُ رَقَبَةٍ مُؤْمِنَةٍ سَلِيمَةٍ مِنَ الْعُيُوبِ الْمُضِرَّةِ بِالْعَمَلِ وَالْكَسْبِ. The expiation is to free a believing slave that is clear of defects that hinder labor and earning. That hinder labor and earning. فَإِنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ, if he cannot find one, a slave to set free, a believing slave to set free, one that is clear of defects that hinder labor and earning. He can't find one or he can't afford one. Then فَصِيَامُ شَهْرَيْنِ مُتَتَابِعَيْنِ. Then he must then he has to fast for 2 consecutive months, nonstop. If you break for one day, even for an excuse like you got sick and you couldn't fast, or like the Eid came so you couldn't fast, then you have to start all over from the beginning. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ. If unable, فَإِطْعَامُ سِتِّينَ مِسْكِينًا. Then he must feed 60 poor people, 60 poor Muslims. كُلُّ مِسْكِينٍ مُدٍّ. For each one of those poor people is the fill, yani, is a mud bowl. A mud bowl, two average sized hands cupped together like a bowl, full of the most common staple, zakat staple of the town. ولا يحل للمظاهر وطئها حتى يكفر. And it is not permissible for the one who committed this muzahir, this liar, who likened his wife to his mother, it is not permissible for him to have intercourse with his wife until he fulfills the expiation. Wallahu alam. We'll stop there. Question says, you mentioned that a wife is not a slave. And she's not the slave of her husband. She might be a slave. She's not her husband's slave. So a wife is not supposed to follow everything for her husband. I didn't say that. I didn't say she's not supposed to. So I don't know if your question is based on this word here that I didn't say. I didn't say not supposed to. Very, very, very important. This is for everyone. This is so important. Make sure you convey accurately because this makes a difference here when the words get changed. So anyway, let me finish reading here. For you said my question is if a husband asks for a glass of water and the wife doesn't do that, stating it's not obligatory for me to give you water because I am not a slave. Now tell me what the husband will do. He can get up and get himself a cup of water. That's easy. You said, in short, I just want to ask how things will be balanced between a husband and wife relationship. That's very easy by not demanding of her to do something she's not obligated to do. That's easy. He can get up and get himself a cup of
But
water.
feelings, Sheikh's feelings have also a big role in the relationship.
Not bigger than the rights. The feelings do not override the rights. What if he felt like he didn't want to support her anymore and he wanted to keep his money in his pocket?
It's about emotional sharing. It's not about taking the rights of each other.
Yeah, it is because I would say your question suggests that she should throw that right away that she doesn't have to get the water for him and that it's not on him to not feel that she should be doing what she's not obligated to do. So isn't that selfish? Seems to me it is. Why you can't say, Barakallahu Fiki, you're right, it's not your obligation. If you want to, you could do it for me for the sake of Allah, but it's fine, I'll get up and get my own cup of water, Habibati.
I got the answer with your in your answer that I think a good character can maintain the relationship. So when it comes to the happiness of Allah, then the things bring good results. But when it comes to the like the selfishness, then it is something different. So
Oh,
I
okay,
just got.
let me
Hmm.
comment on that. Here, let me say this. When it comes to a right that Allah gave you, you have the right to be selfish. Because Allah gave
Yes, it
you
is
the right.
true.
Allah gave you the right.
Hmm.
So that's your right.
Hmm.
So if a man's wife said to him, uh, can you get me this mink coat here? Can you get me this ring here? Can you get me these shoes here? And he says, I'm not obligated to. I gave you your obligatory support. Or she says to him, can you pay for this trip for me? And he says, no, I don't want to do that. So then what she might do, and this is real, this happens. Mashallah, are you feeling cheap these days, huh? Subhanallah, Fulana, her husband is paying for her, and also Fulana, her husband's paying for her. Isn't that the same thing? He's not obligated.
Hmm. Okay, thank you for your information. Jazakallah.
Well, you said, and if he doesn't pay the expiation, what happens? Then it's haram for him to have intercourse with her. It's haram. It's haram for him to have intercourse with her until he pays or fulfills that expiation.
Alaikum Shay.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yeah.
What was that? Going back to the beginning. It was cut off. It said him except after five conditions. Then it came with the five conditions. What was the first sentence?
Can you say that again, please?
It said that it was cut off. It said him except after five conditions. Then you write down the five conditions. What
Oh,
was the first sentence?
let me see. If he divorced her thrice, she is not lawful for him except after five conditions. Yani, he divorced her three times. She's not his wife. There's no way he can bring her back.
Let me see that. Hold on a second. If he divorced her twice, she's not. Okay, I got it.
No, he
Better
can't
luck.
bring her back. There's no way he can get her. I mean, the only thing he can do is marry her again. And since he divorced her three times, there's no way he can marry her again without her marrying another man. And that's what he's gonna have to take on the chin to get her back. And that's why he shouldn't have divorced her three times. Subhanallah. But brother who asked me about that, the rights, I, it is appropriate here to mention. What did the Prophet say, alayhi salatu wasalam, for the man and for the woman? For the man, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِنِسَائِهِ. The best of you are those who are nicest to their wives. So, if he wants to be amongst the best, he's going to be so nice to her. He's not going to like tell her no, for example, if he doesn't have to. And he's going to talk sweet to her and like that and give her gifts, etc. And correct his intentions. So his rank will be raised by his good treatment of his wife. And then if she asks him, for example, for things that are not obligatory on him, then because he wants to be good to her, he does it for her, for example. And also, what did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? أعظم الناس على المرأة حقا زوجها. The person with the greatest right over the woman is her husband. So then, this means which person should she be treating the best? Which person should be getting her best treatment? Which person should be getting her, her attention most? Her husband. That's why if she had a child and she got remarried, prepubescent child, she got remarried, give that prepubescent child to his father. Don't keep him. Hand him over to his father. Now, time for you to be busy with your new husband. Fear Allah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك لا إله إلا
Yes,
الله.
you
Yes.
you you just mentioned a few hadiths that the like the person who deserves more to be treated nicely for a woman
Yeah.
is husband,
Yes.
and uh, and then you said that uh, like we have like a husband have to be nicer with the like khairukum, like you said, li ahlihi, like who is the good for his family, like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Those who
So
treat their
you,
who are nicest to their wives. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I just want to ask all this detail you just mentioned, like was it the explanation part of my question, or like you added something like just in some other sense?
You mean the by mentioning these hadiths at the end,
Yes.
or before what I mentioned about, or before mentioning the hadiths?
No, no. After, like,
Yeah, I
the
mentioned
mention of
those
the hadith.
hadiths to complement what you were asking me about.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, this is what I just want to confirm. Jazakallah.
Yes. Amin wa iyyakum. Yeah, Yani, let her get him the cup of water. I'm not saying she shouldn't get him the cup of water. I'm only talking about what exactly are the rights. And if she did not get him the cup of water, why he's going to be mad? Is it because selfish or what?
Okay, yeah, that's true. I understand that. That makes sense. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jazakallah. Okay.
Yani,
Shay,
yes.
you go ahead. I can ask that.
I was just gonna say, he shouldn't be mad. None of us, Yani, all what really matters is what the rules of the religion say. Whatever rights Allah gave to someone, let us fulfill those rights towards the other. Khalas. Whether we want to or we don't want to, we're happy about it, we're not happy about it. It is their right to do something or not do something, then so be it.
Look,
Amin wa fiq. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك